Kendrick Lamar isn't just talented, he operates on a completely different level. And by the time this video wraps up, you're going to understand exactly why that statement might be the understatement of the year. But before we dive into all of that, I hope every single one of you is doing great. Because, alongside exposing a pretty embarrassing situation today, I also want to wish everybody a happy Friday. Seriously, I hope you're all having an amazing day. Because trust me, this episode is about to get wild, and it could easily end up being one of the craziest breakdowns I've ever put together on this channel. So, before we go any further, you already know what time it is. Hit that like button and don't hold back either. I want this entire community standing together because, believe it or not, we're sending a message to a certain group of people who have been taking shots at us lately. I'm not going to reveal everything just yet, it'll make sense soon enough. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe to my new basketball channel if you haven't already. We're pushing toward 1,000 subscribers over there, and you seriously do not want to miss what's coming next. I've got a ton of content on the way. The energy over there has been incredible, and with all this new Kendrick news continuing to unfold, things are only getting more exciting. But that's enough positivity for now, because we need to address something that ties directly into everything we're discussing today. And somehow, it all circles back to what I'm calling Kendrick Lamar's secret fan club, the Drake Rangers. Yeah, the Drake Rangers. I'm honestly trying to be careful with my words and avoid stepping on too many toes here, but at this point, I really don't care anymore. These people are scraping the absolute bottom of the barrel, so we're just going to talk about it openly. Now, back to the interesting part, because we have something genuinely fascinating to break down today. It might honestly be one of the smartest moves Kendrick Lamar has ever made. It's that impressive. And once you see how his lyrics mirror real-life events, send hidden messages, and even create divisions outside of music itself, you'll realize just how powerful rap as an art form can truly be. So, how did we even get here? What's hilarious is that the people who accidentally exposed this entire new layer of Kendrick's brilliance are the very same people constantly defending Drake online, what I'm now officially calling the Drake Industrial Complex. Yes, we've officially reached that stage. Because for this entire army of people who defend Drake like he's some prized possession, that's the only fitting name left. Honestly, I don't think they've earned any greater level of respect than that. They're the reason this conversation even exists, and lately some of them have been getting way too reckless. A few have taken shots at me and other creators during live streams and random discussions. Meanwhile, others are celebrating Drake following them online, like he personally delivered gifts down their chimney. Seriously, what are we doing here? The guy sees your posts. He probably sees all of ours. Have some of these people genuinely forgotten they're talking about another grown man? Listen, I'm already laughing way too much, and we haven't even reached the biggest reveal yet. But here's where things get really interesting. In their non-stop mission to flood the internet with endless clips, narratives, hot takes, and talking points, all while accusing everyone else of spreading misinformation, they've somehow become the greatest unpaid marketing team Drake has ever had. They're putting in more work for the artist, the album, and the brand than the official machine ever could. And
that's what makes this so funny. They've talked so much, posted so much, and pushed out so much content that they're now exposing themselves. They're contradicting their own arguments in real time, and in the process, they're revealing just how short-sighted large parts of the OVO camp really are. And the craziest part? What exposed all of this might surprise you. So what exactly has made Kendrick Lamar look even more brilliant than people already believed, and who unintentionally handed him that extra layer of genius? Believe it or not, the trail starts with the major Drake fan pages and eventually leads straight to the biggest voice in that entire ecosystem, DJ Academics himself. An old interview clip has been making the rounds online lately, and it's important to remember that this conversation happened before the Kendrick and Drake battle ever exploded. In that clip, Academics sat down with none other than 21 Savage, and what was said there suddenly carries a completely different meaning today. Because these circles have built an entire business around constantly talking up Drake, protecting his image, and presenting him as something much bigger than reality, that's been the strategy for years, and somehow it's become even more obvious recently. But here's the thing, the more these people talk, the more they accidentally expose themselves. All you really have to do is compare statements from a few years ago with everything that has happened since, and the contradictions practically reveal themselves. So what did this pre-beef interview with 21 Savage actually show us? Ironically, it may have revealed one of the biggest reasons Drake found himself in such a difficult position during the battle with Kendrick. Remember, 21 dropped an album in the post-beef era that failed to generate anywhere near the impact many expected, but that's not even the important part here. The real story is much bigger than album numbers. What stands out is the possibility that 21 Savage may have played a major role in encouraging Drake's approach long before the beef ever happened. And if Kendrick truly anticipated that mindset, it helps explain why his strategy proved so effective. In the resurfaced clip, the discussion centers around why Drake continued escalating tensions with so many artists across the industry. The narrative being pushed paints 21 as Drake's trusted right-hand man, the person encouraging him to stand firm and take things further whenever conflict appeared. For many fans, that image transformed Drake into some larger-than-life figure who could do no wrong. At this point, I honestly don't even know what else to call it. But the most important moment comes from 21's own words. While discussing diss records that Drake would send him, 21 explained that whenever Drake played him a song, he would encourage him to keep going and fully stand behind whatever was being said. That's significant because it creates a direct contrast with comments 21 made later when he distanced himself from rap beef altogether and avoided questions surrounding Kendrick in ways many viewers found awkward. Looking back now, those older comments suggest that 21 had always been firmly in Drake's corner and may have encouraged him to push conflicts further than he otherwise would have. And this is where the conversation becomes really interesting. If fans interpret these events that way, 21 suddenly starts looking like one of the biggest instigators on Drake's side during that era. Some could argue that the aggressive persona Drake embraced on projects like Her Loss and later For All the Dogs was strengthened by that constant encouragement. That same energy ultimately carried directly into the Kendrick battle, where Drake never backed away from the image he had created. Unfortunately for him, many believe that approach eventually worked against him. Now fast forward to 2024, and suddenly certain moments start looking very different in hindsight. Some people believe this may explain why 21 appeared emotional or uncomfortable whenever
The beef and its aftermath were discussed during his album rollout. The theory is simple. Perhaps he understands just how much influence he had in encouraging Drake down that path. And if that's true, it would explain why Drake increasingly relied on media personalities, fan accounts, and online defenders throughout the entire saga. What's even more fascinating is that Kendrick may have addressed this exact dynamic in his diss records long before many listeners realized it. Because when you revisit 616 in LA today, an entirely new layer of meaning starts to emerge. Now listen to this section again. When Kendrick starts talking about people around Drake, hidden agendas, and individuals who may not truly have his best interests at heart, the lyrics suddenly hit a lot differently. Take this line. If you were street smart, then you would have caught that your entourage is only to hustle you. 100 of them that you got on salary, and 20 of them want you as a casualty. Then he follows it up by saying that one of them is standing right beside you. You've heard the bars. And when you place those lyrics alongside everything else Kendrick was discussing throughout the track, media narratives, propaganda, online influence, and all the chaos surrounding the battle, it almost feels like he was describing something much bigger than a simple rap feud. That's part of why so many fans continue calling Kendrick a genius. But here's where things get interesting. Did you catch the wordplay hidden in those lines? Kendrick specifically says 20 of them want you as a casualty, before immediately mentioning that one of them is right next to you. Some listeners have looked at that and suggested there could be a reference to 21 Savage hidden inside the wording itself. That's only an interpretation, of course, but it's one that has gained attention as older interviews and clips continue resurfacing. If you view it through that lens, some fans believe Kendrick may have been hinting at the people who encouraged Drake to keep escalating conflicts over the years. Whether that's what Kendrick intended or not, the discussion itself shows just how layered his writing can be. And honestly, that's what makes this so fascinating. Years after these songs first dropped, people are still uncovering new meanings, drawing fresh connections, and debating interpretations that nobody noticed the first time around. That's what great art does. It evolves as time passes.
The music becomes a mirror, reflecting new realities and revealing different perspectives depending on when you revisit it. And as more context surrounding the entire OVO era continues to emerge, fans naturally start revisiting older bars to see if they carry additional meaning. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, you still have online fan communities dissecting every single move, every social media interaction, and every lyric released by both camps. Some fans treat even the smallest details like groundbreaking revelations, while others dismiss everything outright. That's simply the nature of modern rap discourse. But what's impossible to ignore is how emotionally invested so many people remain in this battle. It hasn't just stayed a music conversation anymore. It's become something much larger, with creators, commentators, and fan pages all taking sides and defending their preferred artist at every opportunity. Still, it's Friday, and at the end of the day, this is what makes hip-hop so compelling. We're still here analyzing Kendrick Lamar bars years later because the writing continues to generate conversation and spark new debates. That's a testament to the impact of the music itself. Kendrick has always relied primarily on the strength of his pen, and whether people agree with his message or not, his lyrics continue to inspire endless discussion. In many ways, that's exactly why the effects of this battle still haven't faded. When you step back and look at the bigger picture, this entire feud represented much more than two artists trading diss tracks. It became a clash between different approaches to rap, artistry, promotion, and public perception.
Fans on both sides continue arguing about who truly won and why. But the reason we're still talking about it years later is because the battle left a lasting mark on hip-hop culture. And for everyone still passionately defending their favorite side, one thing is certain: this conversation isn't ending anytime soon. So enjoy the moment, because hip-hop history is still being debated in real time. So to everybody out there constantly defending Drake online, enjoy the attention while it lasts. Enjoy the interactions, the following, and whatever recognition comes your way. Because for a lot of people, that seems to be the entire motivation. From my perspective, this has always been about the music first. It's about the culture, the artistry, and appreciating when somebody pushes the craft to another level. I know some people roll their eyes whenever they hear the word culture, but that's genuinely why many of us are here in the first place. We're here because we love hip-hop, and because we appreciate seeing artists elevate the art form. At least I can confidently say that's why I'm here. At the same time, it's important to recognize how powerful fan engagement has become in today's music industry. Online communities, fan pages, and constant promotion can play a massive role in shaping narratives and helping artists maintain momentum. That's just the reality of the modern music business. Without dedicated fans, media support, and non-stop discussion across social platforms, many careers would look very different. And while artists often criticize industry tactics used by others, fans are smart enough to recognize when similar strategies are being used across the board. Which brings me back to one of Kendrick's most memorable messages from this entire battle. As Kendrick himself suggested in his lyrics, eventually the truth always rises to the surface. At some point, the narratives stop working, the noise fades away, and all that's left is the music itself. And that's ultimately why these songs continue to resonate years later. But now I want to hear from all of you. What do you think about this entire situation? More specifically, what do you make of this interpretation surrounding Kendrick's lyrics and the possibility that there's an entirely new layer hidden within those bars? Do you think fans are onto something, or are people reading too deeply into it? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I genuinely want to know where you stand. And yes, if you couldn't tell, there were definitely a few subtle shots thrown throughout this video towards certain corners of the online rap community. Some of those groups have been going after creators, including myself, recently. But honestly, I'm not losing any sleep over it. I'm not interested in endless back-and-forth arguments online. Still, a little playful commentary every now and then never hurts. That's part of being in this space, right? So, with all that said, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I seriously appreciate you. You're the reason this channel keeps growing. And if you enjoyed today's breakdown, make sure you leave a like before you go. But you know what's even better than leaving a life? Hitting that subscribe button and joining the community. And don't forget to check out Fantastic Hoops as well. We've got some great content coming over there, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's next.